We haven't seen anything yet. When the economy really collapses and we're gearing up for a recession, then what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna yeah, it's gonna get worse. I mean, it's gonna get worse. And what's crazy is there's nobody in leadership with the foresight to be
No, none.
like, "Oh, we gotta really do something drastic here." And that's the freakiest part. That's the thing where it's just like, look, FDR was not some crazy lefty he wasn't a lefty at all. He wasn't some big socialist. Like he wasn't any of those things. FDR just had foresight. And he's like, yeah, this is okay. I'm gonna do. Joe Biden doesn't have that. He's clueless. Like Joe Biden doesn't have the foresight to know what he's gonna eat for lunch. He doesn't freaking have anything. So it's like they're not, and they don't give a fuck. They don't
No,
give a fuck. Why?
at
Because they
all.
have a military and they have a police force, and they don't give a fuck about the people who live here. As long as there is just enough that it can keep the system going for the war profiteers and the rich that really run this fucking place, they don't give a shit. They
Mhm.
don't give a shit. So the only way things are going to change is through a massive general strike. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's because if you got a better solution, let me know. Let me know. You got a better solution than a general strike. Let me know. And I feel weird when I say that because you know what? People take me up on it and they email me these ideas they have that are so bizarre and deranged that I have a hard time reading them. I'm like, I have to be, they must be punking me right now. Someone said that I should start a Twitter campaign. That will change the fucking world. A mid-level comedian is going to start a Twitter campaign, and that's going to lead to world peace. That's
I
all it takes. That is all it takes. Me and
the
my other friends. I can't even get a fucking Netflix special. I'm gonna.
the power they think we have, I'm just like,
It's remarkable.
it's unreal.
It's unreal.
Like,
I actually say because and those are from the people who like you, which I thank you. I'm flattered in a way, but yeah, it's not that simple. But then the people who don't like you, one of my goals, and this is like a total serious goal, I want to someday be half as powerful as the people who don't like me on Twitter think I am. I just want to be half as powerful as they seem to think I am. Like the stuff that they tell me I should just do. I'm like, fuck, I wish I can't even get a stand-up set on one of the late night like you think I could fucking
dude,
like
I j- oh, I
I
literally
wish I
just
was that powerful.
proved a point today to a friend of mine on Twitter. I was like, all right, I'm going to show you how private intelligence helps divide the left, and just there's a lot of people who are so easily manipulated and they'll flip the fuck out. And I just started this thread showing this, and I was like, and I told them, I said, this is how they're going to flip out. They're going to say nuts. They're going to bring up mandates when I haven't even brought that up. It was like hilarious to watch in real time. They're like, Graham's losing it. And they're like, and it's all because of a tweet I last July where I said, comedians, that tweet I put out that you have the right to not take the vaccine. Comedians who stand on stage in front of hundreds and thousands of people have a right to ask for proof of vaccine, negative test. Our body's our choice. That tweet, people lost their shit. Like somehow the WHO was going to go the other direction and then saw Graham Elwood's tweet to his 32,000 people and went, oh, that's it. Mid-level ex-failed game show host Graham Elwood is going to change global policy on just wanting to be safe, like a restaurant owner or something. Like it was hilarious. And I just was watching it in real time and they're like, Graham's losing it. He's having a meltdown. I was like calmly doing this like while I was working on other stuff. And I was showing my friend, I go, you see this? People attack me and they're like, Graham, I go, I'm just responding. And I'm showing how some of these people that, have big accounts and they always say like, whatever, Medicare for all, free Assange, not to say that anyone with those, there's plenty of legitimate accounts with those things in there, but a lot of the private intelligence uses accounts like that. And I said, but then the majority is just people who flip out for no reason. You and I have joked about this. This is why the left never gets anything done. This is why there aren't more of us, because they turn people off with their purity tests. And they don't even have to be private intelligence. They just flip the fuck out and get all mad. And I made it happen today. It was amazing to watch. I was just like, wow. I told my friend, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. And I just calmly put out. And some people asked me some legitimate questions. Well, can you clarify what this means? And I said, absolutely. And there's this long thread. And then I saw the attacks come, and I was like, it was amazing to me. And then someone even was like, people I don't even know were like chiming in. And then I was like, no, I don't agree with you. Like, Graham, both sides need to just calm down. Both sides. You fucking guys have been attacking me. I even put in there, I could tweet, man, these new shoes don't fit. And someone would be like, Graham's mandate stance. No wonder his shoes don't. The vaccine mandate made his feet fat, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's Twitter. And there's always going to be somebody. I mean, pick your issue. It doesn't matter what the issue is,
Right.
but there's always going to be somebody. I mean, especially like the people that just fish for everything. It's just like, you could say something like, I had a nice meal today. And then somebody's just like, some people don't have things to eat. It's like,
yes,
okay, that's fucking terrible. Like, I don't, what do you, I mean, I don't fucking like, how can I, some people don't like, okay, like I'm fucking.
Yeah, there's that crowd.
So what do we do? Do we all, somebody is starving to death at every given moment. So are you just going to starve to death to like have like, what are you proving by doing that? Like what the hell? I mean, so yeah.
And I honestly think, yeah, there's that. There's the people who just react. There's people that just have nothing going on in their lives and they just want to troll. And then I think there's people who probably suffer from, maybe they're on a spectrum. Like I have a friend of mine who has a roommate, and he has a roommate who's on, very smart, nice guy, but he's on some type of spectrum to where he literally, anything you say, he'll argue it. Anything. Like you said, like, oh man, that's my favorite restaurant. Well, I've seen you like other food. Like just just with anything. And
go up to him and be like, you're a piece of shit.
Well,
or wait, no. You're not a piece of shit.
Yeah, but I could be. And that's the problem. Like they just will argue. Like it's just, there's people who just argue anything. There's people like who will complain about anything. Like if you give them a bar of gold, free of charge, tax free, they'll go, well, this is kind of heavy. Like there's just that. So I honestly, getting back to the, how do we fix things? I virtually think it is impossible on a large scale. I don't think it's possible. Any movement gets either infiltrated or people just start fighting with each other because they're petty. Not everyone is private. I'm not saying, oh, everyone's a CIA bot. I'm not saying that. And people misunderstood that with me on Twitter. And I was trying to make that point. It was like, but there's a lot of people just easily manipulated. It just takes one smart person in a key spot to get a group of people to fight with each other if they know what they're doing. Not to mention then just the raw pettiness of human beings, especially Americans, where we're bred to be individuals. We're not bred to be work together. We're not raised to think community. We're raised to think me, like.
Well, it's almost a derogatory term in a way.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like, well, it's a community thing. It's like, and that's so warped and it's so twisted. I mean, Robert Putnam wrote this book called Bowling Alone that I think should be that should be required reading for everybody. Go out and read that book. Everybody watching. I mean, don't do it like right now. Wait till the show's over. But totally go out and read that book because it's just such an important book. And it really goes through how we lost our sense of community completely. We've always been, a little more on the individualistic side. That's been ingrained in the United States for a very, very long time. But it got so amplified starting in like the 50s to present day. And then again, it got, amplified even heavier during like the Reagan era. And for so many people now, that's all they know. That is all they know. I'm one of them. I've lived in nothing but Reagan my entire freaking life. And I mean, finally, people are kind of going the other way because they're just so sick of it and they see how shitty it is. But it's, we are an Ayn Randian dystopian wet dream.
It's insane.
It's frightening.
It is like literally this experiment. And I ran an experiment today and it unfolded exactly as I thought it was going to be. And they questioned my mental health. Oh, Graham's losing, and I was like, wow. And one of the things that Putnam points out in his book is back in the day in the bowling leagues or whatever, you were on a bowling league. He uses the bowling league as the sort of general example, but you were on a bowling league with a bunch of different people from different backgrounds, different political views, different religions, and you all got along. And then in the 60s and 70s, it became more individualized. Don't join, don't like, again, like in the 50s or whatever, it was like, be true to your school. Like those are the school fight songs and all that stuff. And in the 60s, late 60s and 70s, it was like, no, man, don't join, don't play sports, don't whatever. Right. So there was that, like, it's not cool to do that. And then in the Reagan eras, and then in the more like Clinton and Bush and Obama, which have really, those eras have really divided people. Now, he pointed out in the book, people only join organizations that where everybody agrees the same. Like it's your church group. You'll join that where everybody thinks the same versus people from different religions. Or you'll join this political activist group where everybody only believes the same thing. Or, you know, so it's like, it's really hard for, it's really hard for anybody. And you see it unfolding. And I definitely believe, like, the private intelligence community, we've seen it, right? They've infiltrated, and not just left movements. Look, the FBI was in, you know, they had an informant with the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys for January 6th. And so they know that there's all these right-wing fanatics, and they know they can stir them up and manipulate them and get people who were just sort of rank and file Trump supporters to go along with the fringe, you know, ultra-right neo-Nazi group. And they were able to do that. I mean, they've infiltrated Occupy, they've infiltrated Black Lives Matter, they've infiltrated.
Well, I mean, further back than that, man. I mean, they infiltrated SDS, they infiltrated, you know, the hippies, the Abby Hoffman. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's always been. I mean, they've been messing with the Greens since their inception. I mean, yeah, like that certainly happens, and it's always under the banner of we are preventing communism. Communism, we are saving you from it. And you won't have different types of cereal. Yeah. Don't you love it? Aren't you willing to die for Oops All Berries? It's Captain Crunch, but they're all berries. They did that because of capitalism. No one would have thought of that in a million years. It's genius.
If you don't die,
to die for it.
If you don't die for Oops All Berries, you're letting Putin win. I'm just going to say that right now.
Win. He hates berries.
He hates your cereal choices. He hates your freedom of cereal choices.
You have Count Chocula, you do not eat. I'm Oops All Berries.
Count Chocula is a warlock who works with Satan himself. I will not succumb to your evil cereal, Putin. All right. Ron, where are we going on tour in July?
We're going, well, first of all, I'm going to Iceland, June 28th and June 30th. I'm part of the Reykjavik Fringe Festival. Get your tickets now. Don't wait. You can grab them at romplacone.com. And then Graham and I are going to be in the Pacific Northwest, July 28th, Portland, Oregon, July 29th, Seattle, Washington, and July 30th, Vancouver, British Columbia. Not Vancouver, Washington. That's basically a suburb of Portland. So Vancouver, British Columbia. That'd be weird. That would really make sense. We went to Portland, then Seattle, then back to so it's Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, BC, baby. But you can get tickets at romplaco.com, grahamelwood.com.
Right on. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.